Hi everyone. So I have completed the 3 housing dados. In fact, 6. So 3 on the. So here 1, 2, and 3. I think it may not be clearly visible. Uh, so these are the upright mounts, and this is the top panel. I mean, this is the bottom side of the top panel. So here also, like, be very careful, like with marking the cross and always double checking, like, because we don't want to cut a dado on the wrong side, and then it's very difficult to recover from that. So these, if you can see, like here, this is we have the angle. Correspondingly, there is an angle on other side. The middle one is simple in that way, but it's a stopped dado. So make sure, like, you leave 5 by 8 inch in my case there. The reason being, we will be putting a panel. It's a single panel that will be covering this, so this will be like hidden. So so that's what we are going to do. And some, like all my housing dados, actually the fit, as far as the real fit, the side to side, like, it came out perfectly. And every housing dado, like subsequent housing dado, was faster than the previous one. A lot of learning there. So I don't have the recording to show that, but you have to take my word for it. But where I struggled, or I had to put in extra effort, was that because of the fact that I am doing everything like with hand, so there was little bit of like warping that happened on this board. I don't know whether it was from beginning or it happened like in a few days. So basically, like, very slight belly on this side, meaning like whenever I put the piece here, it rocks a little bit. Like, when I'm exaggerating to explain, but slight bit of rocking. It took me some time to find out that. I was like thinking, why is it not fitting? I hammer it this side, something comes up here. I was trying to trim it down. Luckily, I didn't trim it down too much to make it loose, but I did plane a bit to eliminate that part. But the boards have little bit of warpage there because these are just boards. So I am thinking, like, obviously the housing dado joint will be very strong in itself, and when the TV unit is on its like just lying on the floor, there is no real pressure on these joints, like, because everything, like, it's downward on gravity, like it's supported. There is like some force when you are trying to lift the table and all those things, if you are rough, which tends to happen in day-to-day use of things. So the bottom one, when we are gluing it, I will also be putting some screws, because that is completely hidden. Main purpose always with screws when we are using along with glue is that it helps to clamp things. But I am hoping that it provides some level of additional stiffness and protection, or like strength. But the top piece, I won't be able to put screws as such, because if I put screw from this one, this is clearly visible side. So I'm still thinking, like, whether clamping and considering the warpage on this board, like, I can put a lot of clamp. I have to improvise on how to clamp this. That would be enough, likely, most likely that would be enough. Or I put some screws and then I will have to put plug cutters, and nothing wrong with that. So that's on that part. Now I have to go to the next step. So the next step is that, let me bring the camera down, because the next step now is on this back side. As I said, like, we'll be putting like a thin panel. It's just like this is the back side of the drawers, 2 drawers that we are going to have. So we are going to cut a groove here, and the groove would be like 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch groove, 1/4 inch depth, and so if it is 1/4 inch, I have left 5 by 8. I believe I would have to leave 3 by 8 inch there. So 3 by 8 plus 1/4, 5 by 8. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have to do next. And it's not a straight, like, cutting a groove like end to end. It has to stop here. I have to make sure my plane, my plow plane, or in this case the combination plane, doesn't ram up against these things. So I have to think about it. There are ways, like, to do it with chisel and a saw, but luckily I have a small router plane also. I am hoping that I can use that and do something when the time comes. We'll see. So I'll use Paul Seller's clamp-in-a-vise method to clamp this big piece, which works very well. Idea is that I set my sash clamp to, sash clamp is just an aluminum bar clamp retrofitted here with a pine. So I'm just setting it like to just this length. Then I don't have space to squeeze this in. Yeah, not clamping it too tight to begin with, and then I just try like these sides of the clamps are not protruding. It should not. It should be pretty stable, and if it rocks back and forth, something of this kind like a stopper we can put it here. I have made one, but it's I have to cut it, trim it down. It doesn't work for me as of yet. So, and now I can tighten this a little bit. This is pretty solid for grooves and all. I think we can plane also. Now I would be very lucky if the grain is in my favor, especially if it is like if I am having to plow cross like against grain. It's better to like put a marking gauge. So it's like a vintage gauge I just got from eBay. It's really nice, or looks really nice. I'm yet to use it. So let me bring my ruler here. So first thing is I have to put it to 1/4 inch. It has good micro adjustment using this knob. Otherwise this tapping works really well. I mean, ideally, just like when we set a mortise gauge, we use the chisel. So going by that norm, I can use this blade. I think this is good. Now what I have to set is the depth has to be 3/8, right? 3/8 plus, yeah, 3/8. So more. I'll take that, whatever I have. So I'll try to mark these. I mean, if it doesn't, this marking gauge doesn't work, that means it will need some bit of restoration, which is fine also. That's it. I mean, I don't think anything would be visible here. Let me see if I can just for, I mean, I don't need it, but maybe like to show it on camera, hoping like it at least shows up something. I can mark at least this part. Yeah, I don't think it's anything. Now I have to put in the blade. Now I have to set it like the fence one good way to set it is like I set it slightly over the line and then take advantage. I think I am exactly at the point, maybe. Actually I'm right. Right at that. I was thinking that I will show something. What I was trying to show was that there is a micro adjust fence here which I could advance slightly, and that will bring it like closer to the, testing it again. I think I am good. Tighten everything, and now the blade, how much it is, I think it's protruding a little bit too much. Little bit less. Better to like start by taking less than, I'm just advancing a little bit to eliminate the backlash. I'm trying to see the grain direction. I'm still it took just fine, but I'm still taking more than it's better to, yeah, it's going against grain. So let's see how it works. Now I have to be very careful at this point because I don't want to be slamming against this. Now obviously I can't go full way, and once I have a little bit of depth, the front side of the nose of this plane will hit this wall and it will bruise it, and everything will be, that part would be visible. So I don't like, I will be starting it very cautiously. Let me see how is it doing. Yes, it is stirring a little bit, but that initial I really love using plow, this plane, and here too, like I can go only like so much depth, because so I have to use something, as I said, I will be using my small router plane most like. Oh, depth, there are so many things, like make sure you set properly. It's set to 1/4 inch, so I was lucky there, or maybe I was. See, my blade actually hit the other side. I have to be very, ever so slightly. It's nothing is like, unless like you like try to look at it very closely, it will be visible. So I have to be super cautious on that side. Again, here I did the same. I need to be a bit more careful. One way I was thinking, I don't know whether someone would have tried this or not, is putting like some kind of a stopper on this side, like that would help me, or like clamp something there, something like this. If I clamp something like just little bit ahead of that, let me try that technique. So gives me a little bit of buffer. So worst case I slam against that. Let's see how it works for me. So I don't think I can go any further than this with this plow plane right now. So what I have to do, resort to now, is take a tenon saw. The stop block is not showing. Basically, like I am cutting inside the wall and then on both the sides, and then I will chisel it. So if I don't have this, I have to be very cautious that my saw doesn't slam against the other wall. So I'm keeping it there. just to show you what I did. Is it visible? So it's two saw curves. Now I want to put this back. The reason being, even though it is not visible, let me take a chance. So I want to show it on the camera. So take a very narrow chisel. This is 1/4 inch. If my 1/4 inch chisel doesn't fit in there, then I have a 1/8 inch chisel. I hope this just fits. Yeah. So again, I have to watch the grain direction because it may nosedive. So I'm trying to, just like, I've not done carving, but it's like carving, like many small taps to have better control. Whatever bruising has happened already happened here. I'll put some super glue. I mean, my gauge, because this dado is to a 1/4 inch dip, I have to make sure that I take it down to that depth. I hoped that this one has a 1/4 inch blade, that small router plane. I was hoping that is just slightly too tight, so I could not maneuver that. So, but this thing works very good. So not too worried. And because I now have that relief cut there, I'll go back and check, like, if my combination plane now works a bit better or not. I'll still put that this block there. Let's see. There is a knot there which is causing it to, it's still like splitting or like kind of cracking below the surface. So, but I'll still like create that curve. Just like juggling between the chisel and my plow pin, I think I can. I'll have to do the same thing on this side also, but let me first This is a good problem to have for hand tool enthusiast like me. uh, I guess I am to depth like for the most of that middle section. Yeah, the shoe is gliding, and I can finish off that part with the chisel. Let me little bit more at that near that. And I'm there actually. How it normally happens is if there is no relief space on the front, you see it's taking a little bit more. Now what I have to do is, this is a very thin piece, like I can cut that off. I have to do the same thing here. I think I have to turn this other way because I am not ambidextrous. I cannot saw that way. Or can I use the heel of my saw? I think it's better if I turn this other side. So yeah, this groove is almost done. Same on this side, I will just turn the bench, create this groove. Same thing on the top panel. And then I have to cut a 1/4 inch board, another piece of cherry I will be using. The grain orientation can be this way because that will be free floating. That has no structural significance, and I will allow it to expand or contract as needed. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I have to take a break now, so I will be stopping the recording, but yeah, this part I will be completing. And then the next thing would be the front. Before gluing, we have to finish whatever needs to be done. So the next thing is the top panel will have an arc on the front, so I have to do that first. So we'll come to that. That is something I'm going to show, or like we are going to work together on that one.